What is the answer to life, the universe, and everything? 42. It's episode 42 today. And the first thing on the list is the Void Dungeon, which I went ahead and did last night because I didn't know how long it would take. And I wanted to make sure we got that one random thing. Next on the list is Spider. But first, I want to go to the masteries of Xeno. I spent all of yesterday farming masteries. We still don't have 550 scrolls, but we are damn close. Two more runs where the scrolls land on Xeno, and she will get it. So I really want to do that before we go ahead and do the Minotaur. So we'll check in. There's no free whatever, so we don't have to worry about going over on energy. Check in. Come on. Come on, guys. Pop-ups. And I'll just cycle through these. We'll grab the gems. We'll go to the market. We'll grab the shards. Any particular cheap dudes or dudettes? No. Do we have any good looking gear? Not really. So let's head back. Oh, let's head to the Altar of Souls. Let's see what this has for us. Do we have another Kale Soul? Do we have any souls, in fact? There's one for Jizo. I don't really have any plans to build Jizo, though. It's not that I think Jizo is particularly bad. He's just not particularly good. And really, it takes so long to max out units that you want your unit that you're maxing out to be amazing because my gosh, this has been a long slog. So we're going to get her masteries right now. I'm going to head straight in to how are we doing on scrolls anyway, or on Demon Lord keys. We got to run our first one. So I'm okay with that. Let's head to normal and we'll just pass it along. Forgive me for speeding through that second chest, but it was almost certainly not going to be something particularly good. We will only ever occasionally get a really good shard from there. And by really good, I mean it's possible to get a void shard. Did we get one? I can get back to the main menu anytime this century. No, we didn't. We do have two because the reward for day 42 was the second void shard. I'm gonna go ahead back to Minotaur right now. Or do we want to do an arena fight first? You know what? We'll head to arena first so that we are in the midst of replenishing everything possible. So Void Keep done. ZBM, let's get it to 550 scrolls. Aside from that, there are a whole bunch of missions available now. We don't have to wait anymore until we get to the next keep mission, which I believe is going to be a magic keep mission. So there's really no rush. It's not like we have to wait for Void Keep again. I really wanted to boot it to get through Void Keep because that's a once a week thing, and I didn't want to be stuck at this mission for an entire other week. But that seems to be the biggest thing holding back this account these days, so that's a good thing. We're not being held back by any kind of beef gate. Um, First time I played, the biggest beef gate for me was Spider. I got to a certain point and I just could not progress through Spider at all. We haven't been walled by a dungeon yet. We have kind of been walled in Doom Tower. There's a stage that I just can't get past, although I've been able to farm Griffin, which has been pretty good. We have a fair amount of resources. We got potentially 128 of these sets that we could build. We can build those out at some point. I think I'll save them for CVC. We have a fair amount of it built already. And how long we've been recording? Almost 5 minutes. And I've been talking about getting in here and farming Minotaur. Let's do it. I'd actually really like to try Iron Twins at some point as well. Just because you get double rewards today. The rewards in Iron Twins are really, Plarium, they're so terrible. You need to dial up the rewards from Iron Twins. I like the idea that Sunday can be a double day for Iron Twins, but you know, double nowhere near enough is a little closer, but still not exactly enough. So even Sunday's barely worth running. Other days really aren't worth running, and that sucks because it means that you've got a fairly challenging boss that people just don't even want to bother fighting because there's just nothing. We're just not getting anything good from it. That's a Plarium is a problem. It's one of many problems. I'll probably point out like 6 problems in every episode. Just complain, complain, complain. I'd love to hear from you guys. I'd love to get a comment at some point like, okay, all right, Gavin, we hear you. We're working on it. That's what I want to hear. You did comment on one of your own videos. It was funny. On one of the Plarium videos I pointed out, they were talking about something new in Cintranos, and it was just like, look, with all the gear that drops in Cintranos, can we maybe get some more space? And they asked how much space would be appropriate, and I was like, ooh, I can answer this. And I gave them 2 different answers because in my first comment I said like at least double, which would be 3,000. But when they asked me directly, I got carried away and I was like, well, at least 5,000. But you know what? I don't think 5,000 items, 5,000 artifact storage space, 5,000 accessory storage space at this point, given that any accessory that drops is faction specific, that sucks. Honestly, any accessory other than the ones that drop from Spider should not be faction specific. That sucks. Either get rid of that or dramatically increase our storage space because people are going to need to stock up on items. When we're building champions, even 1,500 is not enough. Or you could go through the entire 1,500. Our inventory could be completely full of items that look like they should be useful on various champions, but when you're building a specific champion, you might still be lacking the piece you need. Because you have to consider that if you're keeping 1,500 accessories and there are already 15 factions, that means you're really only keeping 100 accessories per faction on average. And the faction then has its own needs. You're going to need some of them to have increase defense. Some of them you're going to need to increase the attack, HP, resistance, and accuracy. So these are like the 5 main stats you can get on just a banner. Crit damage amulets are valuable, so you probably have more of those than the other stats. You probably have the least number of attack amulets. But you still need some for bombers, so at least there is a use case for those. Otherwise, there'd be a certain set of accessories that you just never want to get, and you could say, well, you'll never want to keep this accessory because it has the wrong main stat. Okay, but then I counter, if it's got the wrong main stat, why is the game generating it? And why is it dropping it? Why is flat stats a thing on accessories? So normally we sell off the flat stat accessories because they suck. Why do they exist, Plarium? Why are you generating items that you know nobody's going to want? These are the hard questions. Has anyone directly asked Cirilla or any of the others that? Every time I see an interview with Cirilla, she basically just doesn't answer anything. She'll ramble. You ramble a lot, Cirilla. I don't know if it's a language barrier thing. Or if they tell you to do that. Like, Cirilla, if somebody asks you a direct question like this, stall. Evade. And so that's what you kind of see in these interviews is like, it's like interviewing a politician. You're not a politician. You're not elected. Just be honest. Just like, yeah, that thing you just asked, Ash. No, we're not doing that. Watch, this is the episode where Plarium finally tunes in, watches this like, what? How dare you mock Cirilla? How dare you mock the rest of our company? We're gonna cancel your channel, Gavin Masters. We're gonna cancel your channel. We got the scrolls, and we need just a little more. The good news is, even if I get a 6, we should get it. So I've got enough for 3 more runs. The law of averages says we should get one more roll that lands on Xeno, because only 3 of these champions are getting masteries. I don't know if this run is any slower than it was when I was running 2 revivers, but I've found that basically, as long as I run a 4th person, Kale doesn't die. If I run just these 3, what tends to happen is Kale tends to die first, then Xeno, and then Sun Wukong has no way to revive. But she died right there. And that's fine, because it meant he didn't die. I don't think this has ever failed. So let's keep going, guys. I need a way to fill the dead air, though. I'm going to be honest. I don't even know what to talk about today, because basically until I get my masteries, which I want so badly, and it's been, I mean, at this point, I've lost track of how long it has been since I started going after Xeno's scrolls and trying to 6-star her. It's been at least a week. It's possibly been more like 2. This is day 42, and we have 3 6-star units. 2 of which still don't have all of their masteries. Now, I could exchange gems for masteries, and next time I do a challenge like this, if I ever do a challenge like this again, and sometimes I question my sanity of why am I starting this game over? Those of you still tuning in and still playing along with me, who've also started a new account recently, whether it be your first time or whether it be a repeat time, do you have these flashes of doubts like the ones I do constantly, where I'm like, I am not sure about this game. It feels like I should not be playing it quite this much, or even at all, because there's the truth behind the game, right? That we know what the goal of the game is, and the goal of this game isn't to make the most fun game ever. That's really not their goal. They want to make it addictive, and it sure is addictive. And it's addictive in some of the ways that it's addictive. I kind of like it. I like the way I can obsess over some of my main champions and how to equip them and how to get them to succeed against various dungeons, obsess over the next goal. These are obsessions that I think we can get behind and kind of like. But once you get pressured into opening your wallet and then you make an in-app purchase, and then you start to feel dirty. And I don't know if all of you who spend money feel this way, but I've seen a number of content creators of a bunch of different games. I'm not really talking specifically about Raid Shadow Legends anymore, but describing feeling dirty when you spend money. I actually don't know how that feels because I've managed to avoid doing it, but I imagine once you get in the habit of opening your wallet, it's a really, really difficult habit to break. So you have content creators like Ash and, well, probably most of them. I just say I don't want to pick on Ash too much. And I'm not picking on Ash. Ash, if you ever watch one of my videos, you are awesome. I'm going to put this out there. You are one of my favorite creators on YouTube. But just as an example, Ash will frequently say, oh man, I was trying to do a free-to-play thing and I screwed up. Because I wasn't thinking. It was early in the morning. I'm like, ooh, that looks like a good shard pack. And he just bought it without even really thinking. Just impulse buys. But a lot of content creators have said, I will buy stuff in game and then I will feel dirty. And I really feel for everybody that says that. It's rough. In my case, I have a number of advantages. I'm cheap, and I honestly do not have a lot of money to spend on stuff like this. I have to budget very carefully, so I really can't justify making any purchases in a game. It's kind of like burrito. I would really have to consult my my plus one and ask her, is it okay if I do this? And she's just gonna give me this deadpan look, like, no, Gavin, no, don't make me come over there and bitch slap you. And I'd be like, yeah, okay, that's the answer I needed to hear. That's the answer I deserved. But I think this is the last run we can do with our energy, and I'm not hugely confident it's going to go into Xeno. That's so disappointing, isn't it? I was really, really hoping I would get her to 550 scrolls. In fact, you know what? I'm just going to stubbornly keep running her until I get it. We do have extra energy in the inbox, so I could just open a new energy tank, keep going until we get the scrolls. We are getting lots of scrolls for all our champions. This is probably not necessarily the hardest thing in the game, but it's going to be the hardest slog to keep at. But next time, I interrupted my thought last time when I said next time. If there's a next time, when I'm getting masteries, I will almost certainly buy the masteries for the starter, whoever it is. Maybe it'll still be Kale, I don't know. But I will probably then use the gems to buy a second set of masteries, and maybe even a third, until I have enough champions that can beat Minotaur, while bringing along somebody that still needs to learn their masteries. So that I can at least be filling one character's masteries one at a time. Because in this game, one at a time is key. You gotta do them one at a time. If you don't master your champions one at a time, this game really will feel like it takes forever to get anywhere. It is an awful feeling, and that pressure may make you feel pressured into spending money. And again, this is probably what Plarium wants. A lot of and I will say this in a number of episodes, and it didn't land in the right place. So you know what? You know what? I'm just going to take an extra energy tank and go again. So in some cases, I'd say that it's sound judgment when the profit motive is your incentive. Then I understand why Plarium would do it this way. But some of the decisions are just not good. You know, profit motive or not, they're just not good decisions. The tight inventory space, the faction-specific accessories, these are just not good decisions. They make the game a little too frustrating because spending money isn't going to fix that problem. You're not gonna money spend your way out of a game just frustratingly not being designed to make it so that you can build your champions. And it seems like all the new sets that are coming out have accessories that are all faction specific along with them as well. So in Cintranos, you got faction specific accessories that drop, I don't know, what, like once a month? You're getting like a small number of them. From Hydra, you're getting a group of them every week, and they're faction specific. You've got Krakens that we're hearing from that are complaining they've still not got any accessories for their best champions because they keep dropping the wrong faction. And Plarium, you really don't care, do you? I mean, you're not watching this video, and if you are watching this video, maybe you'll think, you know what? Let's teach this guy a lesson. Let's false copyright strike him. Yeah, Plarium, don't do that. Because I'm not like MacChan. I'm not just gonna roll over and take it. But I think you probably already have a sense of that. You probably already have a sense I'm really not afraid of you. It's almost like I'm daring you guys to just delete my account so I have an excuse to stop playing. I do apologize, people, for kind of like dancing around the negative side of this game today. I mean, it's day 42. 42 is kind of a special number. It's the answer to life, the universe, and everything, right? But when you're looking for answers, when you're a thinking man or a thinking woman, um, this game gives you a lot of time to think. I mean, if you're really sitting in front of it and you're just watching this same dungeon get farmed over and over and over again, you start asking the hard questions like, you know what? They introduced super raids. Why? Well, there isn't enough time in a day to even do everything in this game anymore. Why not introduce super raids on all of the dungeons, like Minotaur? And there's no answer other than maybe, well, the profit motive, right? We wanna put more pressure on people to spend, but I don't really see how this even does that. Because even if you run Minotaur instead of using gems for masteries, it costs almost the same number of gems. You just get a lot of good stuff aside from that. You get silver every time you run this Minotaur. You get experience on champions. Xeno is still leveling up, so we're at least getting that. Um, but I think it's been a while since I calculated it out, but I think running Minotaur costs about 600 gems, maybe 660, something like that. It's different because the number of scrolls that drops are random, just kind of adding to the frustration of doing it. So that's almost the 800 right there. So it's going to cost a number of gems or time anyway. The time-saving way of doing it is with gems. So even with double time doing super raids, it'd still take a bunch of time, but at least it wouldn't be quite this awful. And also, if you ran super raids, I mean, you get two lots of scrolls. Maybe they could drop on two different champions. Maybe Minotaur could be reworked so that you get masteries for every champion that runs Minotaur. I think that might be better. Also, crank up Minotaur to 20. You know, while I'm just making demands for Plarium. I'm pretty sure you don't appreciate my demands at this point. Um, but why not drop the scrolls on everybody? Why? But anyway, here it is. We got the scrolls we want. Um, so let's get that mastery. We go to masteries. We go to Xeno because this is the mastery we want. We want Giant Slayer, so we got to take this one, and we're taking Giant Slayer because it gets us a butt ton of extra damage when we're attacking a boss. Um, and I already got the. Wow, we're actually really close to being able to get another for Sun Wukong, but I'm fine with not having this for now. What matters is we got the tier 6 mastery on each of the three of them. So they're going to do quite a bit of extra damage. Sun Wukong is going to struggle the most to do the damage because his is Helm Smasher. There's I mean, there's a key difference between these, just in case this is new information for anyone. Um, Xeno's got Giant Slayer, which is extra damage that pops out on every hit. Then you have War Master, which is extra damage that is likelier to pop out, but it'll only pop out once per attack. So the once per hit, if you're getting a multi-strike, and she's got nothing but them, right? She's got 3 hits, 4 hits, 4 hits. You want Giant Slayer on that. And finally, with Sun Wukong, there's some congruity here because you have ignore 50%. Then he's got gear that ignores 25%. Finally, he's got a mastery, which 50% of the time, oh, it's easier to do it this way, 50% of the time ignores the remaining 25%. So now we have, and actually I hastily read this and I'm kind of cheating a little. Uh, oh, all right. I thought it was a 50-50 shot. No, it always ignores it. So basically, the only 50-50 shot's the mastery. So it's going to ignore either 75% of defense or all of defense, and he's going to pop out a huge hit every time he procs that move, which he will be able to do more frequently when I manage to book that move up to full. But it's already got the extra damage on it. So let's go to hard. Let's see if we can finally one key hard on And that's working. Yep. Let's go. Let's see if we can finally one key hard using these champions. I have a good feeling about it. I can't guarantee that we'll get there still, but we basically need 11 million point six something. So we got to beat 11.6. And another thing I could start doing is bringing somebody who brings a little more pain to the boss instead of these two. These two are pretty good at keeping everybody healed up. I mean, basically everybody's got one form of recovery or another. Kale is in lifesteal, so he's constantly sucking back his health. Xeno places leech fairly consistently. That allows everybody to suck back more health. You have Tagore with an area of effect heal that he can do for everybody. You have Jamarsa. She's got a single target heal. She'll tend to target whoever needs it. And finally, we've got Sun Wukong. He can just get himself back up after 3 turns. We don't have a cleanser, so every time somebody gets stunned, that's just something we got to put up with. Kind of sucks that he's Kale, because Kale at least was our best DPS. We'll see if Xeno can pass Kale. But we are seeing these extra numbers pop out now. So 74,000 popped out of Kale there. Xeno, the last one, I think I saw 2 sets of 74 pop out. So, oh, she didn't get any that time. Kale didn't get one that time. Come on, Xeno, let's get some of those numbers. There's one. We only got one that time. Kale got one. Oh, she's getting an extra turn. She got one. She got 2. I swear every time that I'm looking at it, looking for those extra numbers to pop out, she's only getting one at a time. But honestly, that just means that Giant Slayer is at least as good as War Master. Because as long as she's getting one randomly. She didn't get any that time, but she got an extra turn. She got 1. She got 2. She got 3. She got 3 in a row that time. That was cool. So yeah, I think Xeno's going to get a crap ton of extra damage. She's probably going to pass Kale. Probably. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, she got the Smite. The Smite also lands lots of extra damage. Has the Smite not been landing so far this run? Because that would also dramatically improve the damage. So let's see, it's turn 8. I think we normally start dying around turn 20, turn 22. So we might be on track. Maybe if by turn 10 we're at about 6 mil, then I'll be fairly confident we're in the right place. Wow, did she just get 3 turns in a row? There's the power of Relentless Gear for you. Now I'm not really sure why he picks who he picks, because he's picking different targets for the stun. I know there's certain things you can do to dissuade the clan boss from targeting certain champions and stunning them, and that's actually something that we can focus on once we have a proper clan boss team. Right now, we're seriously still at the phase where the best strategy for clan boss is it's just your best champions, and it's going to be like that until we've built 5. I don't even know who my next 6-star is going to be anymore. I mean, I can go to the notes and see who we've written down. We did this. X on that. We completed it. We can go back to focusing on the missions. The 5, as I understood it, is Kale, Sun Wukong, Xeno Blademaster. I've got Jamarsa listed here as the 4th. I may stick to that and then do Apothecary. But we do have Tagore. I might be okay leaving him at a 5, honestly. He seems to survive well enough as a 5, and he just end up getting phased out of the clan boss team. We've got Armiger and Shield Guard. I do want to build both of them soon, because these guys, Armiger and Shield Guard, they are the two uncommons that I would say are worth building. That's it. Just those two. Anybody else, not worth building to 6. Maybe worth building to 5, not to 6. Even champions like Outlaw Monk, for instance. Outlaw Monk can be handy against the clan boss. If you want to run him against clan boss super duper early, you could build him to 5 and just treat him like a 5-star chicken. And as soon as you're ready to build your next 6, you're probably going to be eating him. You may save him for your 5th 6 so that you can continue to run a semi-decent poisoner. If he's fully booked, maybe he's also worthwhile. There are a few other uncommons that are maybe worthwhile as well. If anybody happens to be at this exact phase in the video, I'd be willing to make a video about who the next uncommons are to build. I could probably do a top 10 because there are a lot of good ones. Saurus is another example of somebody that could arguably be worth building to 6. If you're following along with Mr. Burrito's channel, that's what he did. He started with Saurus, which is a bold move. I wouldn't do that on an account, but there's a sound reason for doing it because it's giving him a very fast campaign farmer, faster than what I've got on this account. But I've found that if I'm campaign farming, I'm probably not really watching it anyway. I'm just leaving it to campaign farm until the energy's empty. So I don't really care if it takes 20 seconds instead of 7. But 7 is obviously a hell of a lot better than 20. I mean, that's like 3 times the speed. So we're at turn 18. We've got more than 10 mil. This is a good sign. I think we might be in 1 key territory. Keep seeing the extra numbers pop out. So Kale comes in, boom. No extra damage. Oh, she got the 59 popping out. I guess it's a smaller number when we haven't placed weaken. So a more consistent weaken would make that number better because it looks like it's about 59,000 normally, but 74,000 and something when you place weaken. So the weaken's up. So now we should see those 70s pop out sometimes if we're lucky. There's one, 74. Anyway, at some point while I was talking, we passed 1 key territory. So we are now at the point, finally, where we can 1 key normal, 1 key brutal, and then spend 2 keys on... No, sorry. 1 key normal, 1 key hard, and we can spend the last 2 keys on brutal, and the last 2 keys on brutal might even get us to the top chest of brutal. Maybe. I'm trying to think. Brutal is actually like 20 million. 21 million maybe. 2 keys like this would get us there, but brutal is kind of kicking it up a notch. So I don't know that we could necessarily get 13 million on brutal. I guess we're gonna find out by tomorrow. I'm out of keys for now. I think maybe I'm not. I think there might be another key in the inbox. Come to think of it, I think it might be close to retiring. We better get on that and check as soon as this clan boss run ends. I probably should have checked in on that when I first logged in, because I do recall last time I looked at it, I think it had about 12 hours left. That was last night. It probably still has a couple of hours before it expires. This is a really, really good run. I mean, I've never got anywhere close to this. So you can really see the power of that Giant Slayer mastery on a triple hitter. Sun Wukong just keeps getting back up. He wants to join in. Sun Wukong, he wants to be in the running for best damager. I know you do, Mr. Sun. I know you do. I know you want to be in the running for best damager, but I haven't built you that way. I think even if I built Sun Wukong that way, I don't think he would be able to compare to the other two. Just because Xeno is getting all kinds of opportunities to do other kinds of damage. She's a legendary, so she's She's eligible for Brimstone. The only other champion would be Sun Wukong. I didn't give Sun Wukong Brimstone. Maybe I should have. Maybe that would have been the smarter choice. At the time, I wanted to choose something that gave him an attack bonus. But now that they've changed the masteries, not the masteries, now that they've changed the blessings around, that Plarium did the update on the blessings. And I still don't know what to make of the updates on the blessings. Like, some of them look really good. The polymorph update just didn't fix the one big problem with polymorph. But anyway, here we go. We got 17.54 million. This is almost double what it used to be. So here's Xeno with 10 million. That is dramatic. She was not performing as well as Kale up until this point. Now suddenly she's like doubled his damage. Same affinity. It's not like she's got an affinity advantage here. It's completely astonishing, isn't it? I am really pleased with this change. So we got it. One key is about 11.65 million. So Brutal. Well, we'll get to Brutal in a moment. We'll do a Brutal run. Why not? We'll get the key, and it expires in 7 hours. So yeah, we got to use it today for sure. So let's go back in, and let's fight the clan boss again. We still have a chest to retrieve. It's the one from Brutal. Yesterday, I believe I got the Knight chest, which is giving us a chest piece that I'm probably immediately going to sell, and nothing else. So we need 21 point, we'll just round that up to 7. 21.7 million. So to get half that, I guess we want to make sure we get at least 11 million. So let's go in and hit Brutal. One thing I'm curious about is, okay, it's 54,000 here, which is slightly less than it is against the previous one. So it looks like the War Master procs and Giant Slayer procs score a little bit less damage as you go up in difficulty level. I was never sure about that, but yeah, it looks like the numbers are a little bit less. So I think his defense actually plays a factor. His defense plays a role in that. So it may be that decreased defense would also improve the damage rating of War Master and Giant Slayer. I'm not sure about this. Any big brains out there following along? Mr. Burrito Slayer, if you're watching, you'll probably know this. Does decreased defense improve the damage of War Master and Giant Slayer? Because Weaken definitely seems to. Increased defense, my suspicion is it probably also plays a role. So getting a decreased defense into this team, that would be a priority. So we could bring in War Maiden or Gorlos. Gorlos would probably be better, because Gorlos actually has the HP burn in addition to the decreased defense, but War Maiden is currently booked, so might be better to just bring her. Because I think she's got her decreased defense on a... I think it's still on a 4-turn cooldown on my War Maiden. But if you can get her fully booked, and you got her on a 3-turn cooldown, she'd be a pretty good decreased defense champion for any boss, in addition to any enemy wave. War Maiden is such a good champion. So I could see her being in the running here. There are all kinds of champions that I'd love to bring along. But yeah, Gorlos fully booked. He might even be worth the books. I'll take a look at what champions still need booking. But basically, I can start prioritizing Gorlos for the epic books. I think I'm prepared to admit he might be the best thing we get yet. I can hold that judgment off for the next time we pull all those ancient shards as well. Because maybe we'll pull something really good. Maybe we'll get a Stag Knight, for example. Stag Knight would be even better. because Stag Knight gets his decreased defense on a 3-turn cooldown. He's got decreased attack with it, which would help us survive. Xeno also has the decreased attack. She's placing it often enough, so that's probably good. And like, really, a lot of what we need is in Xeno. She does have the leech. She does have the decreased attack. The leech isn't out yet, though, which is kind of concerning me. Although she isn't fully booked as well. So these are things to work on. But there's a variety of things you want for Clan Boss, right? Like, unless you're running a fully unkillable team, you want the weaken, you want decreased defense, you probably want decreased attack. Sorry, I had a hair in my mouth. I don't know how I got a hair in my mouth. I have no hair. It probably came from my beard, come to think of it. Yeah, so there's the leech. So you want leech, usually, if you need to recover health. You want decreased defense, weaken, and decreased attack. Those are probably the big ones that you want to help you stay alive and to help do more damage to him. Then obviously, poisons, HP burn, any other extra kinds of damage, like War Master, Giant Slayer. Then there's also other stuff you want. Like, you want increased defense, which right now, I've got one on her because Tagor's A1 puts out an increased defense on one champion, which is nice. But I'd really love it if I had a champion that covered the whole team. So I could use Hoskarol for that. If I think there's enough healing in the party, I could bring Hoskarol. Try to even make him the stun target, because he's immune. So he'd be increasing everybody's defense. He's immune to the stun. He can cleanse the stun off the others. That's about all he does. So it's not like he's a completely broken champion that's going to make much of a difference here, but it would be nice to do something about the stuns. It would be nice to improve the damage of the party rating. Because if we could get an increased defense up the whole time, man, that'd be good. But anyway, looks like, are we even going to get to 7 million? Because I think regardless, this is 2 key territory, because we want to at least get the level 2 chest. And right now, I think we've only got enough for the level 1 chest. So Brutal really is something else. It's a completely different set of damage. So we have enough for the Knight chest. It's the Guardian chest, I meant. So yesterday, I believe we qualified for the Guardian chest, but I might be wrong. But basically, that's going to be the new goal. This is the new goal. 1 key normal, 1 key hard, and both of them are instantaneous runs now. I can't run them right now, but they'll be instantaneous runs. And Brutal will be 2 keys so that we can qualify for the Guardian chest. And this is the single best chance that we'll have in a given day to get these sweet, sweet Void Shards, as well as just more Ancient Shards in these books. But 3 chances out of this group is a lot better than 2 chances out of the group. Because 2 chances out of the group, the first one almost always just rolls gear. And then the next one is almost certainly going to roll silver or potions. Brews, I mean. No, these are potions. Or gems. Not that I'm complaining that much about gems, but like 5 to 10 gems is not really a good amount of gems. We really, really want these shards and these books. And they're the 2 hardest things to roll. And that's why you really want to crank this up from the 3 to the point where you get to Nightmare, and you crank it up to 4, where you now have 4 chances, which means you're probably still going to get the silver, the gems, the potions, and then maybe a piece of gear. Oh, and maybe brews as well. That's a lot of stuff that it could be. Or maybe you always get silver. I'm not really sure. And then by Ultra Nightmare, this is the sweet spot here, where you get 5. You're going to get a bunch of random rolls on a bunch of different things, but you are definitely going to get a book or a shard. You're definitely going to get one or the other, because they'll be the only 2 things left when it rolls everything else. So it's rolled 4. It's giving you everything else. Its 5th roll is going to have to be a shard or a book. Sometimes you get both. Fun stuff. Anyway, I think I'm going to leave the episode at that. We've been running 44 minutes anyway. Cranked up the clan boss damage. I'm pretty pleased with that. Maybe I'll end on a question to those of you watching along who want to chime in with an opinion. Who should my next 6-star be? Let me know in the comments. And until next time, take care of yourselves. See you on the next video.